and welcome back to Crazy Dave's Kitchen, where today we're going to be making a Moroccan flatbread. And it's not really a flatbread as compared to what our United States flatbread is all about. This is a hearty flatbread. It's actually going to be about maybe a half-inch thick or so after it's baked. But it's a unique bread, and it looks very, very flavorful. We're going to try it here for the first time today. Ingredient-wise, we have 4.5 cups of all-purpose flour divided. So I've got about 3 cups here, and I've got the balance in another that we'll be adding later. I also have 1 cup plus 3 tablespoons of semolina flour. And here I've been worried about saying semolina all through before the filming of this. So there's that. And then we also have 1/2 cup of wheat bran. We have some toasted sesame seeds. And I just toasted them in a dry pan on the stove. Just keep the heat on the low side and stir them, and they'll start, you don't really want to burn them, but you don't want to, it just makes it smell nice, very fragrant. I also have here some flax seeds, and I also have some lightly crushed fennel seeds. There is 1 tablespoon of instant yeast. We're using the instant yeast again, and just 1 teaspoon of salt. I've got kosher salt, and then there's also 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Also is some water, water for the dough. We've got 2.5 cups of warm water, and again, I just used tap water. So we're going to go ahead and just start in the stand mixer with the dough hook attachment. We're going to go ahead and add our flour, like so, and then all of our seeds. So, and also our semolina flour, and all of our seeds, our sesame seeds, our flax seeds, what else? Hello, our fennel seeds. We're going to add our yeast, and we're going to add our salt. Basically, we're adding all of the dry ingredients. And then we're just going to mix this up for about a minute or so to make sure that everything coagulates nicely together. As that's mixing for about a minute, I don't know, does that feel like a minute yet? I'm not sure. But we're going to start to slowly add our water. 2.5 cups warm water. And our oil. And after that point, we're going to let this mix for 5 minutes. It's going to be a while. And as that's mixing, we will slowly add. We're going to scrape down the bowl a couple of times while this is running for about 5 minutes. Because you can see all of that is still kind of stuck to the sides. And then after the 5 minutes, we're going to let this sit for a while, for about 20 minutes. And then we're going to add the rest of our flour, the remaining flour. Okay, there's our 5-minute timer. So we're just going to go ahead and let this dough rest. We're going to set another timer. We're just going to cover the bowl with a towel, taking out the dough hook, and we're going to just let the dough rest for 20 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll add the remaining 1 3/4 cup of flour. So we'll see you in about 20 minutes. Okay, so we're back. The dough has been resting for 20 minutes, and as you can see, it's risen up quite a bit. So now we're going to go ahead and add the remaining flour. We're going to put our dough hook back inside, and we're going to add our remaining flour. And then we're going to continue to mix this for an additional 7 minutes. Set to a timer. And eventually the dough will all pull away from the sides of the bowl, like we've seen many times before. If the dough doesn't come away from the sides of the bowl, we will add a little bit of flour until we get the right consistency. But right now, it's looking pretty good. Okay, so there's our timer. Our dough has come together quite well. Has come off the sides of the bowl completely, which is exactly what we want. We're just going to take our dough out of the bowl eventually here. We're going to scoot this back and break all the wine glasses. Excellent. We're going to take a little bit of flour, flour our counter space a little bit, and then we're going to divide this dough into 3 equal pieces. So we're just going to take this down and make it into like a square where we can find 3. This is the problem I have, is deciding where to cut to make 3 even pieces. None of these look even whatsoever. I could probably weigh them on a scale. This one here feels a little heavier for obvious reasons, and this one feels a little lighter for obvious reasons. So I guess we can add a little bit to this one, and maybe a little bit to this one, and go from there. So what we want to do is we want to form these into a ball, just like so. And these are really fragrant with all the different seeds in there. It's looking good. And this last one here. The center one, again, doesn't have to be perfect. It's just 3 mildly even round balls. And then what we're going to do is I have a cookie sheet here that's basted with olive oil, and I'm just going to flatten. Maybe scoot that cookie sheet out for a minute. We're going to flatten these rounds into approximately 7-inch flat rounds. Just like like so. Now my measuring is 5, 6, 7 maybe. Looks close. So about a 7-inch round and about that thickness, about maybe a quarter to a half-inch thick is right kind of where we want to be. And I'm just going to place that onto the cookie sheet, which I'll show you in a minute. So again, we're just going to flatten these rounds on down to approximately 7 inches or so. We're going to place them on this cookie sheet that's been, I have some olive oil that I brushed on there. That's looking pretty decent. And then our last one. Looking really good. So here you can see on the cookie sheet, and we're going to let these rise for 1 hour. And if they wind up touching each other once they rise, that's going to be fine too. So here they are. That's our Moroccan flatbread. We're going to let this rise for an hour, covered with a towel, and then we're going to pop it into an oven. And the oven is going to be at 475 degrees. Good one. With the rack in the middle position. And it's going to bake for 18 to 20 minutes. But anyway, we'll come back. There's one more little detail to show you after these rise. So we'll see you in about an hour. Okay, so here we are. These have risen for an hour, and you see they've more than doubled in size. So again, like I say, it's not really like a flatbread in the traditional sense. And if they're touching each other, perfectly okay. It's not really going to affect anything. The one thing you want to do before we put this into the oven's been preheating to 475 degrees, is right in the middle of these, we're just going to slice about a 3-inch cut about 3 inches, and maybe, I don't know, a quarter inch or so down inside. And these are just going to be to vent the steam as these cook. So here we go. We're just going to slice about a 3-inch slice in the center of these with a sharp knife, about a quarter inch down. And then we're going to throw these in an oven for 20 minutes, and we'll be all set, and we will have our Moroccan flatbread. Hello, and welcome back to Crazy Dave's Kitchen. We have finished our Moroccan flatbread, which is located over here, but it seems to be a waste to have Moroccan flatbread and not have anything to go with it. You can see that this turned out really flaky, really delicious, nice and brown on the bottom. But the thing about Moroccans is they like to dip their bread in something. So we're going to do a little Moroccan pepper and tomato salad, also known as tatuka, or taktuka, sorry, taktuka. I'm picking all the great words that don't go well together today. So we're going to make a taktuka to go along with this, and what we're going to do is we're going to, in this pot here, we are going to, let's go through our list of ingredients, right? We've got 2 medium bell peppers, stemmed and seeded and finely chopped. We've got 2 medium red bell peppers, stemmed, seeded, finely chopped. We have 1/3 cup of extra virgin olive oil. We have kosher salt and ground black pepper. We have 5 ripe tomatoes. They're cored, seeded, and roughly chopped. Those are over here. We have 4 cloves of garlic minced. I also have 1 teaspoon of sweet paprika, although I couldn't find sweet paprika. I could only find smoked paprika, so I used that instead. I also have ½ teaspoon of ground turmeric and 1/2 teaspoon ground cumin, and also 1 teaspoon of harissa paste. You can make your own harissa, but I found it at Trader Joe's, and so harissa paste, there we go. So warming up in this pot is the oil. In this oil, I'm going to add the peppers and the 1 teaspoon of salt. So here's our red and green peppers, like so, and a little salt. Now, technically, I didn't want to really fry it, but I have been talking while the heat is on. And this is over medium heat. This is going to kind of go together quickly, so we'll all work together. This is the first time for me, and it's the first time for you. So we're going to go ahead and cover this up. We'll check on it occasionally, stirring occasionally, making sure everything is all well blended. And we're going to cook this, cover and cook it over medium, stirring occasionally until the peppers are wilted and tender. Should be about 5 to 10 minutes. Since I'm a bad collector of time, I'm just going to set a quick timer. Okay, so our peppers have been steaming. We're going to turn the flame down to low. And you can see that they're wilted. And most of the water has evaporated. There's still some oil, but they're together. There's our timer for the 15 minutes. And you can see they're together. They're not mushy. But they are wilted and soft. So at this point, again, we turn the flame down to low. And now we're going to we're going to stir in our tomatoes right here. We're going to add our garlic. Everybody loves garlic. Make sure we get it all in there. Excellent. We're going to go ahead and add our paprika. Again, like I say, I have smoked paprika. So we're going to add that in. All of our spices, basically. I've got our turmeric is going to go in there. I have our cumin. A little bit of black ground pepper. And then also our harissa sauce, or I guess so, harissa paste. I'm going to put one teaspoon. 1 teaspoon. I don't know how to read these things anymore. And we're going to mix this in together. And we're going to pretty much do the same thing on the low heat setting, because you just want this to go kind of low and slow. You don't want the tomatoes to become mushy, but you want them to absorb all these rich and delicious spices. That's going to go well with our flatbread that we made earlier. And this is going to simmer for about 30 minutes on the low setting, stirring occasionally. So every 10 minutes or so, open up the pot. If it seems too watery, and we'll get there at the end. If it seems like there's a lot of liquid on the bottom, we'll take off the lid. But we do this with the lid Just make sure we get all of this good sauce richness mixed in here. And again, it's just a low and slow. You don't want to do it. You don't want to crank up the heat, and the tomatoes will get mushy, is what will happen. So this is just going to simmer on low, covered, for 30 minutes. I have a free symbol set. So we'll see you in 30 minutes, and we'll see how this is coming along. Okay, welcome back. Our Moroccan pepper and tomato salad, or taktuka, is complete. Where do I need to hold this? For the last 10 minutes of simmering, I took the lid off so as to not get the liquid. So we've got our Moroccan flatbread. And what's great about this is you can dip it into the sauce. This sauce can be served at room temperature or slightly warm. And it's a really great appetizer to bring to a party. If you want to be the hit of your next party that you were invited to, and they tell you to bring an appetizer, instead of bringing onion dip and potato chips or a bread bowl with spinach dip in it, go and make yourself some Moroccan flatbread and some taktuka. And I think it'll be a really big hit. The spice on this is, I would say, medium. It's not, it's not super hot, but it's also not hot at all. And I believe that the harissa sauce has something to do with that. You can definitely taste the paprika. It's very delicious. You can dip it, you can add it on. You can store this in the fridge for a few days, maybe 5 days or so. You can actually reheat the bread in the oven a little bit if you wanted to, but this is absolutely a delicious dish. Moroccan flatbread and Moroccan taktuka. Taktuka, T-A-K-T-O-U-K-A. Moroccan pepper and tomato salad. They both go great together. Fantastic dish. So get out there. Thanks for tuning in to Crazy Dave's Kitchen. And I expect to be invited to parties and have you guys make this stuff, or have me come and make it for you. You can also eat this stuff just straight out of the container. It is also delicious. Thanks again for tuning in.